So home prices have increased according to the S&P CoreLogic Case-Shiller National Home Price Index. That was a mouthful, but we already known that. We already seen that in the month of February, prices have increased compared to January. But what makes this index different is that this is the index that most experts use to see how the housing market is reacting to the different changes that the Fed is doing and the economy as a whole. And so this is the metric that most experts use. And on top of that, they just pull from so many different sources. They have extensive research and data in order to map out this index and see how home prices are going up or going down. Now we're going to drill into the chart to actually see the changes that's happening. There's just a slight increase compared to January, but this is the first increase in 7 months. Since the month of July, we've been having decreases in home prices, and then in February it went back up. And so March, yes, it's going to show another increase, but in the month of March, according to other indexes, we, for the first time in over a decade, we reached year-over-year declines, meaning that the price of a home in March of 2023 is actually lower than the price of a home in March of 2022, which is a great change for the economy. It's good to show that maybe what the Fed is doing is actually showing its work, its power on home prices. But once again, home prices are increasing because we're coming to the spring and summer months when there's a little bit more inventory, more activity in the housing market. People are out there, school is being done, people can move in and out and different things like that. And so how will the economy, how will the housing market react? What is going to happen? We're going to try to explore all of that by looking at different charts and articles. So before we go on, please be sure to subscribe to this channel, like this video, and please be sure to comment down below your thoughts on home prices and the housing market as a whole. All right, so the first thing I want to show is this Case-Shiller Home Price Index. And so this is for the past 5 years. We can even go 10 years, right? It's only been increases essentially for the past 10 years. And there hasn't been a year over the past 10 years where the price was lower at a given time compared to the year before. So for example, if you look at July of 2017, if you compare that to July of 2016, you can see the price is higher. And so you didn't have that, even though you had some dips, that's because of seasonalities, of course, but you haven't had big decreases happening. But now let's look at this past increase that happened over the past month. So in the month of February, you see an increase. So index price 292.61, and now it's 293.17. It increased, but not by a lot, right? By 0.5 percentage point of this index, right? And so since starting in July, we've been having decreases, declines, and then an increase. That's notable. That's good to know because maybe it's just showing the seasonality. We're going to spring and summer months. And so far, according to this index, the month of February, the index price is 293.17. February of last year was 287.28. So it's still year over year higher, right? In the month of March, I'm predicting that this index is going to show a decrease. So it was 295.12 last year. I think this is going to stay below 295 March of this year. We'll just wait and see because other indexes are showing that. So if you look at this chart by Redfin, you can see that the year-over-year medium sale price is 3% lower than what it was last year. So, I mean, the year-over-year is 3% lower. And that started towards the end of February, and the whole month of March, it was lower. And even into April, it's lower. Now, if you look at other cities, that's where we have a little bit more concern. So, for example, if you look at Knoxville, Tennessee, like states and cities in the south, southeast, they're still experiencing double-digit gains in some weeks and some months. But if you look at an area like maybe like Seattle, you're going to see decreases happening. And so you see the medium sale price been double digits year over year lower. And right now it's 9% lower than it was last year, but it's starting to increase. You see this big jump happening. Another thing I want to mention is that Zillow is actually predicting that 294 markets to see home price gains while 102 markets to tick lower. And you can compare that to what they thought before. So reading this article right here, just 1 month ago, Zillow expected 238 markets to rise between February 2020 2023 and February 2024, while they expected 156 markets to decline during that same period. But now they're predicting even more markets to rise and even less markets to decline. And so that is noteworthy to know because, it's something interesting to understand, like what's happening in a market. Are prices going up? Are prices going down? And things of that nature. I think it deals with what happened with the banking industry recently, where it really shook the Fed to be more passive in their rate hikes. It seemed like they were about to go back on being aggressive, but what happened on Wall Street with these big banks, they wanted a softer landing in the housing market and other areas of the economy. So they weren't being as aggressive in this particular industry or with Fed hikes. You see that effect in the housing market, that now interest rates are stabilized. Banks are now comfortable with not increasing their mortgage rates because they don't believe the Fed is going to keep on hiking as aggressively or even stop increasing the interest rate. So it seems like the housing correction that we have been experiencing over the past 7 months have been losing their steam. And that's not particularly the best thing because it's still super unaffordable for people to buy homes. And if prices remain elevated or even go up a little bit, that will put a bigger dent in people's pockets. But the thing is, people are still buying these elevated price homes, and I don't know why. And I believe, my personal opinion is that the Fed needs to start being aggressive again. It's hard to control a plane crash. Yes, you can do the best thing that you can to control it. It's just hard to control that. And I think this time around, people learned from 2008, and so they are more reactive, more responsive to what's happening in the news. If real estate investors see just a little bit of a discount in a house, they jump upon it right away when they don't wait until the home truly depreciates to the point where it needs to be in order for us not to stay in an inflated economy. All right, let me know what you all think of this price gain happening in the housing market. Do you think there will be a year-over-year increase sometime this year, or are we going to stay below that year-over-year decrease? Or will the S&P Core Shiller price index that I showed you all, will it actually show a decline for March compared to the previous month? And will it show a year-over-year decline compared to March of 2022? All right, you all, hope you all enjoyed this video. Be sure to like, subscribe, comment down below, and I'll talk to you all later.